nonsense.
Fructose.
Don't say it is fructose.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it could. God almighty. I just had a finger pointed at me. I say, woo, I'm there. I am there. Because here we're going to go with a little rap. All I want to do is run my zoom zoom and that boom boom and shake that rump. All I want to do is run my zoom zoom and shake that rump. I want to see the booty. I want to see the booty hop. Then I want to see the booty pop. La 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 la, no 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 no, la la la. All I want to do is rub that zoom zoom and shake that boom boom. Shake that rump. All I want to do is rub that zoom zoom and shake that rump. Now you never can say I didn't never rap. You might hate rap music. You never can say I didn't never rap. There we go.
We had rap last week with that guy, with that big, he was playing the guitar. Is this going to be a normal thing on the show now?
I don't know.
I
told him to bring
rap corner.
I told him to bring the skin flute, but I guess he didn't want to do that. So it's all fine. Playing the skin flute with that big easel. I don't know.
Hey, you actually asked the guy to bring a skin flute? I wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I told him to do it, but I told him to do it in his own corner. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is crystal clear to see me on your camera. Don't accept no substitute. You're simply the best. When you're watching the Mac, you're watching the Mac Daddy and the Mac's assistant right here. We are what's causing all of this, and I want you to know it's a clear reception. It's not a dream, Melinda. Melinda, it's not a dream. It's the real McCoy. Woo! Woo!
Welcome to the Gorgeous George Show. My name is Kay Lazar, and this is
Gorgeous
George.
Now
let me tell you something. Okay. This is the first show I think we have ever done that the sun is still out.
Is it?
We're doing an early show. We're doing we're competing with Dr. Phil and Ellen DeGeneres and all those other people.
This is Dr. Phil McGraw. Now, you've been eating my fig Newton bars, haven't you? Now, you need to have your head examined. Why is Dr. Phil, why do you behave like a monkey? You behave like a monkey, we'll slap you down. I'll feed you my fig Newton bars and put some arsenic in them. You like it.
Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah, Dr. Feelgood. Anyway, point. See, because I don't know when we're doing the club. Okay, so when we're on a two-shot, just point. That's all I got to know. Like point Dexter.
Is this exciting?
Okay. Yeah, point.
This is a two-shot now.
Yeah. Oh, this is...
Yeah, that's...
I brought it back.
Oh, you brought it back, so this is my one shot. Okay, so... All right.
When he starts talking about stuff I don't want to talk about, make sure he's on a close-up.
Well, I mean, we talk about everything is educational for the kiddies out there, and we are on very early, so we want...
I'm not kidding either.
No, I'm saying we're on very early, so we want all the children to sit near the TV and watch the words, the verbal velvet that comes out of my mouth. When you were a kid, you liked that.
Let me tell you something. I always joke on this show that if a show sort of like this was on when I was a kid, I would love to watch this show. If I was 14 years old, I would think this was the greatest show ever. However, if I would have actually seen a show like this when I was 14, I'd probably be in a straitjacket.
The verbal velvet that comes out of my tongue. Ladies out there, you know you want it. You know you want to kiss me. You know you do. Ladies, come on, give Gigi a big kiss. You know you really want to. And the verbal velvet coming out, it will bless you, and it will take you off to new direction. It will even raise it up a little bit, but that's okay. Raise the volume and raise it up. Woo!
This is our Valentine's Day episode, if you haven't already guessed. 2 men.
Would you be my Valentine? Won't you be my Valentine?
My funny Valentine.
Yeah,
2 men singing to each other on Valentine's.
You know what? See, I am very secure with my sexuality, so I have no phobic feel. I'm very confident in my manly sexuality.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear it for manly sexuality.
Yeah, let's hear it for the band. Let's hear it for the band.
Yesterday was the big manly sexuality day of the Super Bowl.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't even...
Men flexing their muscles.
I didn't even watch it. I heard that Liberace was the one that was doing the performance, the halftime performance. How was that? He was playing the ivories and all that?
What they say, a pregnant millionaire was the featured singer.
Oh, okay. I didn't even watch it, but we know what? Kansas City Chiefs did the good thing. They beat those damn Flegels. And I was glad to see the Philadelphia Flegels get beat. like the punks and the scum that they are. Kansas City Chiefs, give it up. All right, next year it'll be the Cowboys. It'll be the Cowboys, and they're going to do it next year. Because I said so.
Might be the Eagles again.
No.
Eagles. If they would have like stopped the vote in the middle of the game, the Eagles would have won, just like Arizona did in the last election with Trump. Before all the votes were counted.
Like I said,
I'm surprised Arizona being the Super Bowl being in Arizona, they didn't
watch it.
Try to change the result.
Didn't want to watch it. Okay? I was doing some various and wondrous things, and I was doing my thing.
What?
Well, I can't. Well, what were you doing last night?
I was watching the ball game like everyone else.
I thought you were doing something else.
I was watching.
Okay. You want to tell? Okay. Well, I don't. I was doing something too. I was not watching, but I was watching. You know what I was watching? I was watching the last Super Bowl the Cowboys were in. And you know what I said about
yourself?
No, I said, you know what? I'm going to watch the last Super Bowl the Cowboys were in '95, and I said, anybody wants to bet me, I'll give you 9 points because we know the Cowboys won by 10. So I'll give you 9 points. It was an easy bet, and they were having that in. The bet was in Las Vegas too. They were doing that bet, the retro bet. But it was a sucker's bet to take the points,
even when the game was 25 years ago.
Why not? That's when we first started the show.
Is Tom Landry the coach?
That's when we first started the show.
Roger Staubach.
No, it was
the quarterback then.
It was
Don Meredith. I got that wrong.
Danny White. The name Gary Hogaboom. Remember Gary Hogaboom?
I remember him.
Yeah, Gary Hogaboom. No, but it was Troy Aikman, of course.
Now, I got to tell you something. I was happy to see the Chiefs win. However, because everyone hates the Eagles, unless you're from Philadelphia. Then but then you shouldn't.
Their fans are questionable. The city, they burn cars, they root and they loot, and that the fans are classless. They boo Santa Claus and they cheer for a man that's being injured on the ground. I have no use for them.
They had a coach once, Buddy Ryan, who
Buddy
had
Buddy Guy. Yes.
Not Buddy Guy.
No, Buddy Guy. I call him Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan.
He actually, I think he was fired when they found out that he was actually telling his players to take out certain players on other teams, like Joe Namath, who was very easy to, cripple, because every year he got a bad injury. Yeah. And anyway, so anyway, I'm a Giants fan, and the Eagles beat the Giants, and you being a fan, you want to root for the other teams that beat you. But I think the players in almost all sports always root for the team that beats them, because they're not going to want to lose to some upstart. They want to lose to the best. Yeah. But they don't tell that to the fans.
Well, it's just one of those things. All right, we had a lot of discussion last week, a lot of stuff there to be talked about. I'm going to wrap this up. So we talked about internet trolling. We talked about cyber stalking.
What do you mean we, paleface?
I mean we as in general we. Me, whatever. So, paleface, come on, man.
That's from that's the Lone Ranger when he says to Tana, we're surrounded by Indians. We're surrounded, and he says, what do you mean we, paleface?
Oh. Well, yes, I guess, a little perplexed or a little,
It's in Lolita, actually.
Is it?
Lolita.
So getting back into what I was saying before the mood got switched around. So we were covering the bases upon internet stalking, cyber stalking, character assassination, and we compared it. The bottom line is, and I've said this so many times, and I'll just say it again, and the reason why I say it on this program is because I can say it point blank. There needs to be rules and laws in play. I know that the United States of America is the freest country ever. We have democracy and whatnot, but I believe that in a society of what we are, of course, everybody is sensitive about a lot of stuff, but there ought to be a line of demarcation low in the sand just about as far as trying to character assassinate somebody because they don't like them. They can say whatever they want, but character assassination, there ought to be penalties and fines. I'd call me crazy. Maybe
crazy.
No, I'm not crazy because the internet needs to be policed. I've said it so many times. The internet needs to be policed.
Well, I think
that's what I've said.
What you said was in America we have laws and stuff about and also good laws like freedom of speech and stuff like that. But the internet is not just America; it's the whole world.
No.
And thus, what is maybe illegal in one country is legal in another country. In China, they don't even have Google. They have their own version of Google that probably more people use because there's more people living in China than there are.
Well, something. Look, people in China, say what you will, people in China, you go to a Chinese restaurant and you have a 4-year-old kid that is actually like an adult and is taking your order. Like, wait a second. I said, son, how old are you? I'm 4 years old. You're 4 years old. I'm 4 years old. I said, man. And he's 4 years old, he's acting like an adult, he's working on the register, he's taking money, and he's taking the order from the customers that come in. That blew my mind.
Did that happen in China?
No, that happened here.
Well, that's America.
In a Chinese restaurant. That blew my mind, though.
Well, then don't go
there. He said
there.
he's 4 years old. No, I'm just saying.
Were you that hungry that you had to have a 4-year-old make your food for you?
You're not. Kevin.
Well, you make baby food?
I'm saying that the folks and the owners of the establishment had their kid working. Yeah. Obviously, they're paying him. He's only 4 years old. He's only 4 years old, and he's taking money in, and he's taking my order. Like, wow.
Was he like
Chinese people are very smart. Yeah. Asian people are very smart. I don't care what anybody says. They're very gifted, very smart.
Not as smart as I am.
You got a big head, don't you? You got a way big head.
Well, a lot of them are.
Yeah, they are.
But there's not like a million of them.
I mean, but I'm saying that they can do a lot of things.
Yeah. And Americans
they can do a lot of things. Well, they're well advanced. So they teach respect. The parents out there teach the kids to respect other people. Maybe if we learn from China on some things, maybe the U.S. would learn from China. Maybe some of these curs and these pricks out here would be a little bit more. These curs and pricks would be a little bit more respectful to other people.
Well, let me tell you something about China. China had a communist country, and they had to build their own economy, and they allowed people to become very rich, billionaires and everything, by making it more of a capitalist society. And then with the Tiananmen Square revolt with the teenagers, a lot of people thought things were going to change, and the dictatorship let everybody know that this is not that we still call the shots here, and it's still it's not this utopia, and you don't want to live in a dictatorship, George. And so I mean, a lot of these, and that there was a case where push came to shove when look, things are looking better, and just be glad you live in America where people do have a chance for a trial and a chance to be different. I mean, you think they would put up? You think a country that's a dictatorship would put up with individuals like me and you?
They would look up to us and say, "King GG, Sir Kevin, and King GG. How about we roll out the red carpet for you in your discussion?"
Then I look forward. You should.
I'll just say, look. Let me tell you something. I met Chairman Mao many moons ago. I was a little
really?
Chairman Mao.
When he came to America?
Chairman Mao, he taught. He was talking to me in foreign tongue, and I was saying, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just a kid myself." But he was telling me. He said, "This is what I said, "Yes, sir. I agree, 100%."
Okay.
Chairman Mao. Anyway.
But what I'm trying to say is that the internet. Get back on track. The internet is a lot of countries, lots of rules, and basically it's the Wild West. It's almost like pirated waters.
Well, it's like
you couldn't get away with bootlegging records or movies, but then on the internet, if you look hard enough, you could find free versions of these things.
Well, there's a lot of these foreign countries block off those sites too. A lot of these foreign countries will block off certain things that we see in certain countries.
Dictators
now,
do that.
but yes, and Caney. This is a good question right now for people that commit crimes. Now, I don't know how you feel about.
I'm against it.
People. Well, no, but people committing crimes for capital punishment for people that commit murders
capital
and crimes.
Punishment. I feel. I think every case is individual.
Okay.
However, I feel that in this wild west of a country we live in where everyone owns a gun, that capital punishment should be around. But other countries don't have capital punishment because they don't have the crazy gun laws.
Let me say this.
Or lack thereof.
And I have mixed feelings about that.
Yeah.
I've never fired a gun, never used a gun. Not to say that I wouldn't, it's not to say that I'm fearful of that. I just don't personally believe, because knowing of course, my temper and whatnot, knowing my temper, I might just want to shoot somebody just for the sheer hell of it. No, I'm joking. But
you're like the guy who sings Folsom Prison Blues. I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
I shot your mama because she slapped me in the face.
I shot the sheriff.
I shot your mama because she had a beard and goatee. All right, so get it back.
That was the worst Match.com date I've ever had.
That's right. Listen, any woman, I'm sorry. And call me crazy. Any woman that's got hair under her nose, any woman that's got facial hair, I'm sorry, I'm taking a powder. How do Drew Carey? How much you bid on this woman? I will pass on this showcase.
Drew. You like the price?
The pass. The price is wrong.
We've done the prices right.
Yeah, we have. Was it the Bob Barker or Drew Carey?
We did Drew Carey because I couldn't imitate.
You can do Bob
Barker.
I
couldn't imitate Bob Barker.
Make sure your woman is spayed and neutered. Yes.
Actually, I think I did Bob Barker years ago, and then the most recent version we did it with I remember Danielle and also Vince and you were there too.
Well, that's what we're doing. We did the game show. Anyway, so I think that maybe caning, and God, no, I'm just saying, I think that in some cases, especially with these trolls, they should be caned. Well, now, I'm just saying, maybe chop their fingers off. No, that's a little drastic, but maybe they.
But caning is just
steal
bad.
Their fingers. No, caning would probably was almost like a spanking, and would teach these trolls to basically next time you don't put your hand in the oven. Maybe that is like muscle memory. Will teach these biatches a thing or two.
Well, if you remember, we're just talking about this.
Yeah.
Earlier today, that in Singapore when they caned that guy for littering. American Tourist, and it was there's big news at the time, and they actually cut down, I think, from 8 lashes to 4 lashes. But there was blood and pieces of flesh coming up when he was lashed. And let me tell you, I do not believe that a non-violent crime should get a violent punishment.
Well,
I mean, there's a rapist or a murderer. You could say
littering is not.
There might be the argument there, but for somebody who's just mouthing off on the internet, I mean, Well,
littering is not per se a crime. I mean, littering. I mean, it's littering is not really a crime.
Singapore, they take it seriously.
But false narratives and pretty much accusations and making up stories. Yeah, I think that's a crime.
Well,
false narratives, making up stories because you don't like somebody, that's a crime in my eyes.
Then then all the movies you go to see or TV shows will have to be documentaries, and that be verified as the truth.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
And a movie even a movie that's based on truth, like A Beautiful Mind, which is almost half fiction anyway.
Right.
Or the Titanic.
Yeah. So this is what we're saying, folks. There are to be laws in place, maybe penalties, fines. Yeah. There needs to be some laws in play. Penalties and fines for all this rigmarole that you see on the internet.
So you know what you should do? You should run.
I should run for mayor.
You should run for the Republican candidate for mayor and institute all these draconian punishments that I'm sure all the tattooed people with no teeth.
How dare you?
Would vote in a election.
How dare you, Kevin, to even insinuate such insinuations?
Your kind of people.
My kind of people? And what are my kind of people, sir? You're this right.
The tattooed people with no teeth. You know what? Let me tell you something.
Come on.
When I take a more philosophical,
You see any tats on me? You see any tats on me at all?
No. I'm good. I take a more philosophical version of it all. I feel that when my enemies hate me, that I must be doing something right.
Okay.
Like, for example, if I ran for any office and I found out the Nazi party endorsed me, I was like, I don't need your help. How can I change? So when I hear all these terrible lowlifes saying how terrible I am, I said, well, I must be doing something right.
There you go. Well,
if Albert Einstein or Jeopardy contestants, if they say I'm doing something wrong, then I'm doing something wrong.
Well, I don't know. For the person to cast the first stone, be damned that first person to cast that first. Yeah, I said it right. Yeah, cast that first stone. May they
throw me.
May they cast. Throw,
or like cast the line.
May they cast or throw that first stone. May they get 10 lashes. You cast that first stone, yeah, you get 10 lashes. People that look in glass houses, look at yourself through the mirror first before you look at a glass house. And always the glass is always maybe in between half full and half empty.
And people who live in tin houses shouldn't throw can openers.
And people that need an education, listen to the words that come out of my mouth, okay? Every time when you listen to Gorgeous George on DVD and Gorgeous George on TV, listen to the words that come out of my mouth, children, and you'll have an education every time.
All right.
And there will be a test, and if you fail, you'll have a dunce cap. I'll put you in the corner. You have a dunce cap on, and you got to write, George is the man 100 times. George is the man 100 times.
And you can't just cut and paste it, copy and paste it over and over again.
That's right. So
when I was a kid, we used to put George is 50 times.
That's right.
We never did it. Oh.
Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record where the drum beats go like this. Oh, hey, pump up the volume, dance. Okay, we got it. See how all that music? So I mean, not only do I do the love songs and ballads, I can do a little rap. I can do a little rap that I like, 80s rap.
We missed Burt Bacharach called the farm last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
94.
Burt
Bacharach.
Okay.
He wrote Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head.
Oh, okay.
And all those Dionne Warwick songs.
Oh, Raindrops.
He wrote That's What Friends Are For.
Did he?
That Rod Stewart.
Oh, that's right.
Well, anything with Dionne Warwick he probably wrote.
Okay.
A lot of good songs. A white sport coat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so and he was like, all that. He was the pop music of the 1960s, yeah. The Look of Love.
What about Neil Sedaka? Okay, God, I'm channeling here. Neil Sedaka. Ooh, I hear laughter. Okay, I gotta stop.
I heard an interview not too long ago, like a year ago. Neil Sedaka talked for like an hour just about his career.
And who's that?
Neil Sedaka.
Neil Sedaka?
Yeah.
Sedaka?
He wrote he wrote a lot of great songs.
And then, let's really channel.
Cupid.
Let's go to Gordon Lightfoot. What's that song? God, I don't mean block.
If You Could Read My Mind?
No.
The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald?
No. Sundown. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't the words because they're blocked in my. But yeah.
These
people you don't even hear anymore.
They're around. I tell you what you do.
They're underground.
Sort of. You go on the internet, you'll find a lot of these people.
Yeah.
They still perform at like smaller venues and stuff. And
then Neil Diamond, what's happened with that? He's
Neil Diamond's still a big name.
But Neil Diamond he
has Parkinson's disease, which is very sad.
Does he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't perform anymore. Although he has recorded some new albums. So.
I had Parkinson's.
He's about 80 years old.
That's hard.
He's over 80, I think.
Damn.
And Neil Diamond, Neil Diamond's first concert I ever saw.
The first concert I ever saw?
What?
Barry Manilow. I would have meant that twice.
I saw Barry Manilow
in 1981. It's the first concert I saw at the Cabana. Okay, let me stop. Okay.
I saw them both at the Coliseum. I'm not together, but maybe like 40 years ahead between. But I saw Barry Manilow. They had like $25 tickets at the Richmond Coliseum.
Yeah, well, that's probably in 81.
And he had all. Not 81. It was like.
It was 81.
2081 or something.
I didn't see it. It was 1981.
But you see, what's weird is the law. I saw like Billy Joel early in his career, and half the show he was singing other people's songs.
Right.
But then, if I would have seen him in recent years, he wouldn't sing. He'd probably just sing his own songs.
Well,
he's already has a backlog of stuff.
Let me name the band. I've seen Duran Duran in Las Vegas. Duran Duran, seen them in Las Vegas.
I saw them at the Scope.
I've seen Hall & Oates, Daryl Hall, John Oates. I've seen them over at the
Innsbruck.
Innsbruck After Hours.
That's where I saw them.
Innsbruck After Hours. We saw them. Who else have we seen? We see Charlie Daniels.
I've seen Charlie Daniels. I've seen
Innsbruck After Hours.
Well,
of course, now you were, I don't know, you said you were right up to Willie Nelson.
There's a picture of me.
Picture of you and Willie Nelson together. Yeah. Okay.
I've seen him twice though, but I didn't see him the second. I didn't meet him the second I met him.
So you met Willie Nelson. Did you meet Julio Iglesias?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there? Okay. Well,
I met the woman that was his warm-up who was really good. I forget her name.
Right.
She was really
okay.
Good. Yeah. Okay. And I met Willie, of course.
Willie Nelson. Okay.
I've seen almost everybody. The only person I wish I could have seen.
I've seen John Cougar Mellencamp. I've seen John Cougar Mellencamp over the Altria.
When I met Vice President Biden, John Cougar was the warm up, and he sang a few songs with his. There
you go with Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan was there,
Meg Ryan.
but I didn't see her. They said she was in the audience, but I didn't see her. It was a cold night.
So John Cougar Mellencamp, I've never seen Springsteen. You've seen Springsteen. How many times have you seen Springsteen?
4 times.
Like, I've never seen Springsteen.
Yeah.
We've seen Elton John 3 times.
I've seen Elton
John 3 times. I've seen Rod Stewart 3 times.
Never seen.
And one of the best concerts in Las Vegas was Rod Stewart and Bryan Adams. Okay. Bryan Adams and Rod Stewart. Oh my God, that was probably one of the best concerts we had over at the Hilton in Las Vegas.
You won't believe who I saw a couple days ago.
And there's another one too that pops in my head. But go ahead.
I saw a Beatles tribute band, and it was called 1964, and they sounded and looked just like the Beatles.
Oh, Billy Idol.
Billy Idol. I've seen Billy
Idol at the Billy Idol. Yeah, come on, George.
Innsbruck.
No, the
Altria Theater.
No, why am I blanking out? Right there where we did that contest with the
National.
The National.
Yeah.
And of course, they had Adamant there, but then they had Billy Idol, and that place was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, right in the National, you couldn't even move.
Oh well, I like it that way. I like standing as close as I can.
Yeah.
With no seating. They call it festival seating, which means no seating.
Yeah.
Anyway, I saw this tribute band of the Beatles. They were very good. They sang all the great Beatles songs. And I was thinking my own tribute band. I mean, I once auditioned to be the drummer in a Def Leppard cover band, and they said I was overqualified.
Because you had 2 hands. You had 2 hands.
They said if no other drummers come here
that's awful.
with 1 arm.
Okay, that's absolutely awful. You had 2 arms and we had 1 arm. Yeah, see,
I was overqualified, they said.
That's not good. That's not good. All right, so hey, it's my world, and we could just sit here and say nothing, and we have people these women could be just touching themselves. We could say not a word, and they could be touching themselves wondering if we're real. Is it Memorex or is it live? And,
are you a DJ?
It's live now, but in a few hours it's going to be Memorex.
Now, I told you I met actually, and you've seen the picture of me and Vice President Biden, who's now the president, and we were talking earlier about
we did
about the 2024 election.
Let's talk about it.
Yes,
and we're open for any.
It could be a Biden-Trump rematch.
Well,
who would win?
I'm glad you asked, and we're going to think about it and talk about it because the way I see it happening, I see Biden getting a second term. Now, why I see Biden getting a second term? Because Santos or Sanchez or Sanchez or Santi
sanctimonious
or Santa Claus, whatever you want to call him. He will win the Republican nominee, and then that's going to force Trump to be really pissed off. He will be the independent, and then Trump will take away from Santos.
DeSantis.
Santos. You say Santa Maria.
No, there is a Santos,
Sanchez, Santa Claus, whatever.
DeSantis seems kind of competent. The other guy is a big fat liar.
Don't break my movement, okay? Because I'm having a movement right now. All right, this is a movement, and it might stink up the joint in a second here. Just be quiet. All right, so as I said, we'll have Santa Claus and the Republicans, and we'll have Trump and the Independent, and of course Biden will take away from Santa Claus, and then we will have a second term for Joe Biden. But we better hope that Biden is still competent, because I will say this: I don't see any other Democrat beating either.
You don't see Kamala? No. In fact, the Democrats are kind of soured on Kamala. She may rally. If she becomes president, then she would be the incumbent. I
don't know. But I think Susan Rice, if they wanted to get an African American person, they should have had Susan Rice. If they wanted to do an African American, they should have got Susan Rice instead. This is the same woman, and I'm sorry, I'm go. Yeah. Harris was the same person that insulted Biden, nearly calling him a racist. Mm-hmm. When she was in the Democrat nominee, I remember this stuff. She insulted Biden by calling him a racist and by the school busing. I mean, look, if you think he is, then I don't know. I mean, he's a better person than I would be for even going in that direction. That's just me.
He's a bigger man by picking
bigger person, whatever. Because it's
he never
an
said
insinuation or an accusation like that. That's ridiculous.
I've never heard. It's never come out. From what I've read, that Biden wanted anyone else but Kamala Harris. I mean, when McCain was running for president, he wanted Lieberman as his vice president, and he was he actually said on his deathbed that he should have picked Lieberman as his running mate instead of Sarah Palin, because he felt he was like
I don't understand what Lieberman
foisted on her.
I don't understand what Lieberman was thinking about when he did what he did. I mean, he was Al Gore picked him as the VP back in 2000, and then he just flipped ship.
No, what happened? I know
Al
what
Gore
happened.
picked him and he flipped ship.
What happened was Lieberman did not get the nomination in Connecticut for Senate. That's where he's from. So then he ran as an independent, and basically everyone there wanted him. So he got even some Republicans and lots of Democrats to vote for him. And so he kind of told the Democrats to thumb their nose at him. And then what was weird was we actually had this conversation like more than 20 years ago, and I said at the time, I kind of wish Lieberman was the current vice president under Gore. instead of all this. That goes to show you how, to me, in the year 2000 and that election with Bush,
you thought Lieberman should have been one. I'm sorry, say that again.
He should have been the vice president under Gore, and in a perfect world. Well, actually, I felt worse when George W. Bush won in 2000 than I did when Trump won. Because I felt like I was almost at the Trump part, been there, done that. But it was truly, and things didn't get better. Iraq happened after that.
If you know anything about me,
the decline in the economy.
If you know anything about me, I'm an avid Bill Clinton lover. I love Bill Clinton, and I wanted Hillary in there. So I took the 16 debacle a little bit more serious than the Gore debacle, even though Gore. That was one of those things. But I think what hurt Gore is the fact that he didn't embrace Bill.
Yeah.
He pushed away from Bill. He didn't want to have nothing to do with him. And I think that's what hurt Gore in the process. Even though we can sit here and talk about this, that, or the other, we know that he won Florida. We know that Gore won Florida. And some of those, as what's his face that was working for Bush, what's that guy's name? So we got some hanky-panky going on.
Kenneth Starr?
No.
Dick Cheney.
No, the guy that was his was speaker was with under Reagan's campaign. Mm-hmm. I can't think of the guy's name.
Karl Rove?
No, the guy that was running the Bush, and he was under the Bush administration. He was the spokesman, PR. He's a lot of funny business going on out there. You see votes
the
down
press secretary?
James Baker.
James Baker.
It just popped in my head. James Baker with his southern dialect.
He was
a lot of funny business. A lot of funny business going on down here. Yeah, well,
It's probably a Cowboys fan.
Well, you see, now listen, you will get 10 lashings here in a second. Just because, you see, this is what pisses me off. Because they figure, well, you're a Cowboy fan, how can you be a Democrat? Duh. I'm a Cowboy fan, how can I be a Democrat? Or you're a Democrat, how can you be a Cowboy fan? You remember our good friend...
Chris Christie's a
you remember our good friend Paul...
Paul, yeah, I remember Paul.
Good friend Paul.
Yeah.
When he paced and whatnot. When he paced, and he said, "How can you be a Cowboy fan and be a Democrat?" I think I could be both. You can't be a Cowboy fan and be a Democrat. I said, "Yes, I can."
Well, that guy,
because I don't stick to.
I remember that guy Paul used to appear on the show a lot. Nice guy and everything. But I think the inside of his stocking cap had like a foil lining. Some of the crazy things he said on the show.
Paul McGill.
I remember.
Yeah,
another guy.
Wendy's sidekick that was helping her with the back. Hey, so that is the way it is. So I do believe that Biden can get a second term. I think that Biden can get a second term and will. I think he will get a second term. But I think he will get a second term. But I believe that without him, there's not another nominee that I see that can probably beat what's on the other side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still, you never know. Jimmy Carter came out of like a year or so before he became president. No one ever heard of him at the time. And
now, speaking of great humanitarians, speaking of a man that has superseded everything, even as president and even as anything, the greatest humanitarian of them all is James Earl Carter.
Yeah.
James Earl Carter. There's no doubt. And how old is Jimmy?
I tell you, he was
98?
24. I think he'll be turning 99 this year.
98, 99.
99. Yeah.
Jimmy Carter. And the man is...
We almost lost him about 10 years ago. Remember he had brain cancer? He seemed to survive that all right.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did, but brain cancer is one of those things that it's hard to survive.
Well, yeah, because he's been blessed because he's done a lot of good. And so if you want to talk about people that have served their country, he has served this country well, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter served this country, and again, I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. He was the one that got the hostages out of Iran.
Yeah.
Reagan did a great thing, but Jimmy Carter was the one that got the hostages out of Iran. I'll say it again. They called me the pint-sized Huey Long in '76 when I was campaigning for Jimmy Carter. You see me in that little Carter Mondale hat, and I was campaigning for Jimmy Carter. They called me the pint-sized Huey Long.
I was in a movie. Listen to this. I was in a movie about Huey Long.
Yeah.
And our good friend Bud Burdecki was in it. And,
yes.
And I was in it. And my dad was in it. And it was and John Goodman played Huey Long. And this is the big John. He's a lot thinner now. But I'm surprised he said pint size because.
Well, I was a kid.
You were a little kid.
I was 8 years old.
Huey Long was this great.
I was 8 years old, and I was. Doing
very cool.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about Huey Long. Huey Long was like in those days, in the early 1930s, Louisiana was like the most backward place in the world, and he got a lot of things going there. But it was all corruption. They said if he shook your hand, you had to check your hand to see if your rings and watches were still there.
Right.
And then he was assassinated on the steps of the Capitol that they built in Baton Rouge.
What was this?
And he had Huey Long. And when
was this, love?
They think it might have been the husband of some guy that,
what year?
That he was
What year?
his wife. He was
what year?
1934, I think.
What year?
Yeah, and what happened was
34.
As soon as the guy shot Huey Long, all of his protection, he had like about 20 guys protecting him, just turned around and just riddled this guy.
Right.
So they don't understand what the purpose was.
So you're saying 34, 35, and then in the 30s.
Okay. And he was the senator at this time. He was the governor for many years before that, or a few years. And then, anyway, when you're in a train on the way to Houston, like I was from New Orleans, you pass by this huge, it's the largest state capitol in America. It's bigger than the one in Texas. It's bigger than the one in Washington, and which are the biggest. And you pass by this thing, and the train conductor says, "Look to your right. There's the state capitol of Baton Rouge, built by Huey Long, a monument to graft and corruption that you've never seen before." It's quite a building, though. But that's where Huey Long was assassinated.
Chatchmo, they got in New Orleans, they got Chatchmo's bust up there.
Chatchmo, yeah.
Chatchmo, What a wonderful world. Okay. Oh, Louis.
You know what I found out about Satchmo? That Satchmo, it only was a common knowledge now, but not at the time. He smoked pot almost every day of his life. And
I believe it. That voice.
And somebody said that's why he was sweating so much.
think I would him and Barry White probably. Honey, you can't get enough of your love, baby. Can't get enough of your love. I would think that maybe he did some pot too, Barry White, because he has that deep.
Yeah, well,
he has Dritch also too. So
when I sing, I'm in the theater, and when I sing, I sound just like Barry White.
Yeah.
They need because I'm one of the older people in it, and so I'm the only one with compared to what you think. Those other people with high voices, I sound like Barry White next to them.
Right. Okay, that's cool. So anyway, we were told we got 10 minutes. I don't know. Is that clock right up there on top?
No,
the clock.
That's
got 10 minutes.
That's a cuckoo clock.
That's a cuckoo clock. I don't know what kind of clock it is. Hey, let me tell you something.
So you gotta wrap it up.
I'm gonna wrap you up in a second. I'm gonna wrap you up in a second. Put you in the damn sleeper here. Hey, listen. What's that?
Man Up.
Well,
This is my.
Did you write that
dog whistle?
Did you write that book?
No. It's a very good book. Though.
Speaking of books, if you want a good book and you're feeling full of yourself, who is causing all this, or better yet, what's causing all this? And I'll keep leaving the book. I don't bring the book. Amazon, what is causing all this, baby? And I am. And of course, the website, it's got some belch now. Thank you very much. The website, our old website is back up. We're going to do some minor revisions and
minor
revisions, but
I think it needs an overhaul.
GorgeousGeorgeShow.com, our old website, the old retro website is back up on GorgeousGeorgeShow.com, and your spiel about being from Squattville, North Carolina,
that's right,
is still there.
That's
1951. That makes you 71.
That's right.
71 years old, man. Good God.
I look good.
You do?
I look pretty good for 71.
Yeah, 71 years old. I'll tell you what. So and you're doing the Viagra too, aren't you, right? Do the Viagra. You put your
I cold my throat, and then now I have a stiff neck.
Oh, you got to sit back. I'm telling you, man, you got to lay off that stuff, man. You got to take it in moderation. You want to get one side up, but then you want to make sure they ain't nothing in here. No stiff ones, okay?
It's like steroids for your penis.
All right, we'll get you to make your putter
flutter.
Make your putter sputter. Make a full salute, erect. Oh, yes.
We don't usually do this type of humor early in the day. So
I can't believe the media is always taking me by the strings, and these bozos are still on public access coming on early. These kids are being corrupted by these two clowns. I can't believe the media is allowing this. Oh, my God.
Well,
Spock,
nothing.
Where are we at? Where are the Klingons? Are they in your a-hole? Captain,
no, Uranus is.
In your a-hole. Captain.
Uranus is what you joke.
Captain, this is highly illogical, Captain. My Stardate Enterprise tells me we can't go any further than where we're going right now. Scotty, what are we doing? Captain, I'm giving it all she's got. She's going to blow. Scotty, that's what we want. We want her to blow.
George, I think you know your target audience. They're big.
Yeah.
They make. I think they make all.
Damn it, Jim! I'm just a country doctor.
They make all their friends at the Star Trek.
Damn it, Jim! I'm just a country doctor.
That's why they don't have girlfriends, because you don't meet girls at a Star Trek convention.
Why don't you all get a life? Spock, tell these people, why don't they get a life and move on? Captain, I can't do that, Captain, because they play with my ears. It's highly illogical and highly irregular.
Well, you must know every episode.
I just, whatever. I'm just showing a little,
You do the same with Doctor Who and Star Wars?
No, I don't know. Well, what doctors can you do?
I don't.
You Dr. Phil?
I only watch intelligence. I only watch.
You don't watch intelligence?
Ingmar Bergman
those scientific show.
I watch Fellini and Ingmar Bergman films.
Okay, is that right?
Louis Malle, if I feel
this is before Christ, right?
Who made a
before Christ
film just down the block?
Oh, okay.
My Dinner with Andre. But basically everything I do, the shows with Mary Elizabeth or with Keith or with Vince or even with you, they're basically a homage to My Dinner with Andre.
Was it Andre the Giant?
No, it was a film that was made at the Jefferson Hotel.
I thought you meant Andre the Giant. No, you sat in his lap, didn't you?
The real smart people who are watching this show.
Well, I mean,
both of them know what I'm talking about.
Is that right? Sorry, you trying to make another dig? I thought you meant Andre the Giant. I don't know. I thought you meant Andre the Giant. He looked down at you.
Actually,
I'll pee on you.
Actually, you mentioned Andre the Giant because the guy that was in My Dinner with Andre is Wallace Shawn, and his most famous part is not in the movie I just mentioned, but in The Princess Bride, and he is the guy that hangs with Andre, the bald-headed guy, the little guy, and he's and his father was the the editor of the New Yorker.
I did not know that.
Who brought out?
I have a little bad imitation of Johnny. I can do Johnny Carson, but I did not know that. I
did not know that.
That's right.
Ed, where's Doc? Where's Tommy? Where's Ed?
There you go.
A lot of people don't know this.
Right, listen. You got to do Gerald Ford.
Well, I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we don't. I have the strangest wife, Betty Ford. She does all the drinking, and I do all the falling down.
That's right. Good job. So anyway, yes, we mix it up and whatnot. I don't know. So yes, and what is causing all this is the book to get. The autobiography of Gigi himself, Gorgeous George, the autobiography, what is causing all this, get it. And the website is we got to tweak it. We got to update the website, and it's already up.
Yeah. So it'll be the best website you'll ever see.
That's right.
It'll be better
can't do any better than that. And now we need to concentrate.
It'll be better than Pornhub.
We need to concentrate on the movie.
The movie, yeah.
We need to concentrate on the movie.
Yeah, we're going.
And then we need to do our seance.
It'll be all
Kevin, we need to do a seance. Who do we need to channel?
We need to. You told me you wanted to channel Charles Nelson Riley.
I don't know. Is he dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Is he dead? Okay. What about Gene Rayburn?
Dead as deader than Elvis.
Deader than Ray?
Deader than Elvis.
Ray kills Bugs dead, right?
Deader than Lisa Marie. Yeah.
Oh, no, come on now. Don't do about Lisa Marie.
She's friend of his.
I met Lisa Marie.
Yeah, tell us about Lisa Marie.
Well, yeah, because when we did in '99, when we took that trip, me and Magic Matt went to Vegas. We stopped there in Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland, and Lisa Marie Presley was giving the tour. So that was very touching. That actually had angered me to hear what happened to her.
Did you?
I mean, she's my age.
Did you talk to her?
Yeah, she was Lisa Marie Presley.
What was your conversation like?
She was giving the tour, and I said, "Wow!" And I was really overwhelmed. I mean, I was like, "Wow, look at her!" She looked nice, and I thought to myself, "Damn, she's my age." Yeah. So way too young.
If she could, if she could marry Michael Jackson, she certainly could marry you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Shimon.
She could marry Nicolas Cage. She certainly could.
You go to Never Never Land. Macaulay Culkin, he wants to go to Never Never Land to see the remains of the Elephant Man. Well, don't tell you. No, Macaulay Culkin, he wants to see the remains of Elizabeth Taylor inside the septic tank. I just want to say, all my friends out there, leave me alone. I am Michael Jackson. I love the Elephant Man. I also love Liz Taylor. She and I had some cocktails together, and I got some of that tail, but. That's a fairy tale because we all know that I like Macaulay Culkin.
Let me tell you,
Shimon.
Actually, you say leave me alone. If you were Michael Jackson, they basically left him alone the last 10 years of his life. Mm-hmm. Nobody really wanted to be associated with him. Even Lisa Marie, she associated with you and Michael Jackson.
Okay. Well, it was a one-time deal, one-time deal, basically, We can't go on together.
How many does she eat?
We're suspicious minds, and we can live our life. Okay. We're suspicious minds. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's a good
No, say that 10 times fast.
Suspicious.
Say it 10 times fast.
I don't really do an Elvis
You
impression.
gotta-
I'm not Andy
Oh,
Kaufman.
this is Elvis.
I think.
Hey, you lied when you told Elvis you were down on him. He had no cause without you. And I don't hear no more lies. They're going to sleep without you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Every time I see an Elvis impersonator, I think the estate of Andy Kaufman should get a royalty. I
Look, listen to me. And call me the minority in it. I've never seen anything funny about Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I'm being blasphemous. I mean, I have never seen anything, of course, with him and the wrestler, Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
That was all staged. I never even knew that. I mean, I thought it was
Wrestling staged? I find that hard to
that
believe.
whole thing with, Jerry Lawler. But I've never found Andy Kaufman funny at all. Never found him, I just didn't find him
Well, I
funny.
mean, actually, you're not
You know,
alone.
and they wanna
In his
compare
day, he was not a funny guy. I mean, he was the comedian who didn't tell jokes. He would,
Right.
he just played the fool.
Yeah,
You know,
but I mean, like I
mainly
said,
a performance artist, if you want to say.
Yeah.
He was more of that than a comedian. But I mean, I watch him. I watch old tapes of him on YouTube.
and
stuff.
our
I
friend
think-
Jerry Lawler had a stroke just recently. Jerry King Lawler just had a stroke, so hopefully if everything's working well with the King.
Have you ever seen Jerry Lawler?
I've never seen him, but I mean the classic matches he had with Flair. There was some matches on way back when he was wrestling Ric Flair back in the day.
Did you go to their rehearsals?
No, I didn't go to rehearsals. So you're trying to say it's like a soap opera? The soap opera, right? Okay.
I wouldn't put.
All right, so it's my world, baby, and I'm the man that is causing all this. I've always been the man that's causing all this. We're down to the last minute. One Mona Lisa, one Leaning Tower of Pisa, only one me, only one him, and only one down below. Believe it, woo, or not. Woo. See you soon.
Is that it?